Oh, there will be Colonial Radical, another version of mall walkers versus internet dogma snuggie shit talkers. So we're going to talk imperialism, the rise of imperialism. Here on V Day. There's going to be VZ Day. Tomorrow's Golden Spike Day. So let's talk the rise of imperialism. Don't you love the Elizabeth Holmes propaganda machine? The New York Times? How pathetic have they become? I mean, they're almost as bad as Operation Foxconn News. Run it by Jetstream, to it by cable TV. So get your dogma snuggies off. Take your dogma snuggie off. Get it off. You're red one, you're blue. All the internet has turned into radio. I mean, KSL from hell. I mean, they had 6 hours, Doug Wright. Oh my God, was that guy a warmongering freak? The insane. I mean, Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, all these freaks. And then they evolved over to Alex Jones. And then on the left, you got Amy, who's in her cocoon. They carve out a freaking niche. They carve out a niche market. And as Bill O'Reilly said it perfectly. Stephen Colbert. Well, Stephen, if you're an act, Bill O'Reilly says it's all an act, Stephen. Stephen Colbert, if you're an act, what am I? So, all it is tell them what they want to hear. That's all it is. I'm the opposite of that. I don't give a fuck. I carve out a niche. I ain't got no fucking niche. I got shit. I got trying to save you from you, the earth. So imperialism is rose its ugly, pathetic, sickening head. It's the old British Empire versus the old Russian Empire. It's the same old players. The cousins are fighting again. Is Putin cousins with King Charles? Most likely in Russia, they think he is. Is Putin a commoner from St. Petersburg? I don't believe so. He's been in power for how long? Surely not a president. That's a czar. So he gives his speech today, West versus East, same old, same old. Back to the USSR. I'll take the USSR over this imperialist Putin and imperialism America and these puppets they have. I mean, Bush dumb, Obama dumber, Trump dumbest, sliding a senile good puppet, Biden. Same old, same old. So these imperialists just go mad. So you're walking in circles, bunch. Yeah. Turn the Newgate Mall into a food court. Not a food court, a food restaurant mall, a nice one. I mean, all clicks, bricks. So let's talk imperialism. Same old thing. 1960. Oh, no. They didn't have nuclear bombs in those days. So the big Z, their crown and jewel, which I called you sugar wars, molasses wars, textile wars, cocaine capital, plutonium. The imperialists are back. How did they do it? 9/11. The gift that just keeps on giving. Now, stay with me. Imperialism, monarchs. The United States is nothing more. And it's really evolved in Balco since 80, but really the key date is 2000. When Operation Foxconn News is run right out of the House of Windsor. Ask Rupert Murdoch. Rhodesia. It's colonialism. The United States is nothing more than the old British Empire, which is still active. The British empires, which started out as a British colony, we're the military arm of the British colony. That's all we are. That's all we are. That's all we are. This is imperialism. I mean, billionaires. And then the so-called resistance is all for an agenda that cuts taxes on the elites are planning something big when they empower the elites. I mean, here's free money, all you want. Billionaires used to be illegal in this country. We were anti-imperialists in this country, coming off the backs of the Great Depression. But we're all in. We're their military colony. These monarchs, these imperialists, King Charles and crew, you don't think they still will leave here? Nuts. You ever traced George W. Bush's bloodlines on both sides? Well, it's not just Prescott Bush. Look up the Supreme Court justice corruption. Yeah, that's on the other side. What was that, Davis or whatever his name was? So the United States is nothing but these monarchs. And then you got people like Alice Jones who say they're anti, and all these so-called anti-elites, anti-globalists, who do nothing but empower globalists. They support an agenda that these guys feed these narrative to. Cut taxes on the corporations, cut taxes on the elites, empower them more and more and more and more. I mean, mission accomplished, right? So the United States is nothing more than the British Empire's, nothing more the British Empire's military arm masquerading as the old USA. Now America. You need to learn to speak American. Sarah Palin said so. Of course, Katie. Isn't that funny? Sarah Palin said you can see Russia from Alaska when it's literally just a couple miles away. Didn't we buy it from them 2 cents an acre? Putin says that deal's void. I want it back. The old Russian Empire lays over the map, which is all Alaska, a lot of Canada, and Oregon, Washington, clear to Moscow, Idaho, the Russian River. So the imperialists, they're back. So when this all went down, World War II, World War I, these people played long ball. They all changed their names, hid out in the U.S., and now they've reemerged. And you're all fooled. My favorite is Epstein. Look at his grandpa. Oh, yeah, he's Russian. Julius Epstein. Is he the gatekeeper of the CIA? No doubt in my mind. You think about the CIA. Well, he was meeting with the head of the CIA. No, the CIA head was meeting with the real head of the CIA. Now, you go back to Edward Snowjob. We had all that power. We had all that resistance going. Louis Mass March, Kevin Blanch, the anti-imperialist movement. We had it rolling. What happened? Trumpism. Here comes, he's a counterculture. So I'm like, don't fall for his lies. Don't fall for his lies. No, he's not. No, he's not. He never seen a person he couldn't exploit in his life. He saw the writing on the wall, and he exploited for his own economic benefit. That's all he ever is. Maybe you could send your commissary money from prison to his super PAC, which he uses for personal expenses. He's filed, the dude is the lawsuit capital in humankind ever in the history. He's probably filed at least several thousand, probably more like 10,000 lawsuits. That's what he does. He gets away with anything. Billionaires and things. Old man Trump, his dad. I can't paint that. That's RO. So, dogma reinforced. The left's even more pathetic. As pathetic, I shouldn't say more. Oh, Bummer Dumber. Yeah. I love all you people still on your knees for Bummer Dumber, who absolutely ripped the guts out of the Democratic Party. Remember when they were the party of environment and labor? He just tore the guts out of them because it was an anti-war vote. Everybody was so pissed at Dick Cheney, so pissed at the theft of the 2000 election, Roger Ailes. All 30 networks called it for Gore. They had it right. Lay down Gore. Oh, he's an environmentalist when he built that big mansion. Go ask Tipper. She divorced him. Whew, what did he do to those massage therapists? Not one, but two. Oh, he gets away, of course, just like Elizabeth Holmes. Still a billion. By the way, Henry Kissinger is 100 this month. Got to talk to Henry before I go to Fukushima. That's Hillary Clinton. Trump, the only reason, I was at the White House when Trump got elected. The only reason Trump got elected, the only reason, was it was an anti-Hillary. Nobody wanted Hillary Clinton. They wanted Bernie Sanders. I was at the White House that night. Had my Russian hat on. Before all you guys got all over that, I'm like, the Russians have occupied the White House. They will never leave. Imperialists. I knew that before the election. It didn't matter which one I won. The cousins, Trump and Hillary cousins. They go trace back to Jonah Bonaparte. Donald 1, Donald 2. Look it up. So, nobody won her. How did she win the Democratic primary? Good question. But that night it was so eerie and creepy because she had a stage set up and you could see the wind coming out that she was going to lose as the results started to come in. I was there and everybody cleared out. There was just a handful of people there. And the chant started, there was 2 kids started and they had this really, whoa, I have photographs of their poster. Whoa, talk about inappropriate, good inappropriate. And as you could hear, it started quietly and it went for hours all through the night. You fucked Bernie. You fucked Barney. That's all you heard at the White House that night. You know, I had my Russian hat, my 1916 shirt on, played back the tape, Your Honor. I was there the whole time. I got on the bus in the middle of the night because the workers that go into New York City, they can't afford to live there. A lot of them live in D.C. They ride those buses. You can ride those buses for $10. You know, so I go there. I'll never forget it. I get on the subway. The subway system, you know, it's, I mean, it's cool as hell in D.C. You know, the tube is something else. Beautiful. It's incredible, but it's deep in Foggy Bottom. But of course, it's always late. But so I go get on that, and it's just me. And there's a young woman. She's got a Clinton hat on, and she's just sobbing. And I took her this. I think it's probably the best photograph one of them I ever took. That's saying a lot. And right above her, the blue line in D.C. is in light red, almost pink. James Carville pink. James Carville just ripped the guts out of the Democratic Party. James Carville, well, yeah, wolf in sheep's clothing. I mean, so Obama or dumber, look it up. The anti-war vote was massive. One of the biggest landslide victories in United States history. Senate, congressional, they had 60-40. That's right, 60-40. Obama dumber, who was a wolf in sheep's clothing, who knew I was really good at killing people. He doubled down on the war when he got elected as anti-war. Is he playing checkers or chess? Everybody used to say. I'm the first guy who says he ain't playing either one. He's playing Monopoly like the rest of them. He's Kissinger's puppet. And what was he? Remember, he lost 12 Senate seats. 12. Record? Oh, yeah. He lost, well, I think, 84 congressional seats. He lost, I think, 12 or 14 governorships. He just gutted the Democratic Party. He just, I mean, beyond a gut punch. To a point now that the Democrats gave one of the greatest war criminals who the Democrats hated with a deep-rooted passion all through the early 2000s, the war machine, Dick Cheney. Did you know look it up, Democrats gave him a standing ovation on the Senate floor. So here comes Trumpy. Trumpy's been lurking for years. I listened to his rhetoric for years. You know, he used to talk a good game on 9/11. He'd go after the Saudis and call the Saudi royal family out, you know, the imperialists. So he talked a good game, and I tell everybody, don't believe him. Don't believe him. So our group, a lot of them fell for it. He's non-establishment. He's this, that, the other thing we've got. And, you know, they rejected Bush. They were looking for an alternative. They had it with Obama dumber had just gutted it. So they were looking for an alternative. And labor stepped up for Trump because he talked tariffs. But his tariffs was all fraud. I mean, he wanted to handpick his tariffs. Well, you know, solar panels versus once you start wearing them Trump women's shoes. He wouldn't go after his, you know, daughters or his wife's apparel line from China. I mean, tariffs the only way they work if they're broad-based across. That's an old left thing, and they work. But he ripped the guts out of that thought process. He ripped the guts out of all protesting because these useful idiots, as he calls them, which that was coined by Lenin, not John, Vladimir, in Ukraine, they fell for it. I used to argue with everybody inside the Million Mass March, our group, the people, I said, don't fall for this. He's a con man. He never saw anybody he couldn't exploit. He's exploiting you for his own personal gain. Don't fall for it. He's not what you think he is. Trump, you gonna talk about Fukushima? Yeah. Did he? Did he? Nope. My favorite is Obama dumber, Trump dumbest. I mean, who knew we'd get worse than Bush? I mean, well, you know, I just found out about this shadow banning thing. When he signed the bill into law to create shadow banning. Now, shadow banning is when they killed net neutrality, which is the biggest blow to the activists in the history of this country. Kevin Blanche, I had the field. That's how they daggered me. Who signed that bill? Trump. Then after he signs the bill, comes out and says, God, yeah, I just found out about the shadow ban when he created shadow. Oh, Sliding with Biden's going to put it back. It's 2-2. Did he? Did he? Did he? Did he? They won't even put it up for a vote because mission accomplished, right? I mean, it's mission accomplished. Sliding with Biden. So there's no difference. You got your red dog and snuggie on. You got your blue dog and snuggie on. Get your blue colored glasses, your red colored glasses. So what is internet, political theater? It's just carved out a niche. People carve out a niche and then they just repound your dogma reinforcement. Tell them what they want to hear. I don't do that. Why do you think I don't have a major following? I used to have a pretty big following. Well, until they went after. I invented the term internet kettling. You know, my favorite is them dirtbags Vice. What losers. You know, I see they're bankrupt. I wonder why. They're pieces of you know what. So they're going to interview Kevin Blanch in 2015. Remember the November. At the same time, McKill Lesson is murdered at DuPont Circle in D.C. Remember, I stayed in New York. We passed him at the Mega Horde. Vice interviews me. I led it. It was an incredible, powerful freaking piece. Pretty chilly. Leader Kevin Blanch, it seemed to just... Well, we knew they were freaking kettling us, the police. What's kettling? We knew that. I knew that. So we whispered through the crowd. I did. Just disperse in all different directions. Give it 45 minutes. Re-meet at Operation Foxconn News. Oh, we did. Vice, they never finished the story. That's the problem. Media doesn't finish the story. They never do. They give you, because that's hard work. Real journalism is hard work. Real journalism doesn't care about telling them what they want to hear. Doesn't care about your dogma snuggie. Curl up and get you a Bud Light, or get you a Coors Light, or get you a Diet Coke. Oh my God, you believe anybody drinks that shit? Whoa, any of it. American domestic beer, you know what's in it? It's not beer. I mean, so get your dogma snuggie on. So what's happened? How did it happen? Well, they stole the election in 2000. George W. Bush won the two. No, he didn't. The League of Women Voters, everybody went in and recounted. The Supreme Court never ruled that he won. The Supreme Court ruled that they didn't have time to count. How many votes did it take to be president of the United States? 6. 5 Supreme Court justices, and your daddy put them there. Now just go back into the Bush line on corruption in the Supreme Court. Yeah, you talk about one of the greatest corrupt Supreme Court justices. I mean, Clarence Thomas, of course, makes this one look like a church mouse. I run into Clarence Thomas in D.C. Whoa, holding court. That dude is beyond creepy. But this is who these people are. I mean, they are so lustful for power and ingrained in political dogma that they cannot see the dead trees. And their greatest tool is nuclear. I tried telling you that this war. I mean, is it Z-Day, the big Z? Is they going to give that reactor up? I hope they don't blow up, but I read something out today that they saw Russian soldiers wiring it the last few days. V-Day, the Z-Day, chores, last wars, textile, cocaine cowboys. Colonialism is back. The American colonialists, this country, the old USA, is nothing more. Now America is nothing more than the old British Empire colonialists. Think about it. What is the United States? You don't think we're colonialists? We're their military branch. They're armed. They don't even have to have a military. Pay the dragon slave. Think about it. We colonized Iraq. Nobody in Iraq did anything. We colonized Afghanistan. Nobody. How about Vietnam? How about, we just keep going and going and going. These guys never, this war machine, it's colonialism. They're in Africa big time right now again. Maybe they can rename it Rhodesia. You know, maybe they can make it Kissinger land. You know, Rhodes Scholar, Bill Clinton. Okay. Wasn't Winthrop Rockefeller the governor there? That's how you got to meet Kennedy. The last anti-nuker was Kennedy. Oliver Stone. So you go back to Edward Snowden, who just ripped the guts out of Anonymous. So Edward Snowden on 60 Minutes. He's a con when he shows up on 60 Minutes. I had top surveillance clearance in the entire CIA. He was the guy. He was lead hacker, lead top guy. I knew Aaron Swartz personally. JSTOR, they captured academia. I got clear to the top, and I realized there's another top. What's the other top? Global oligarchs. Now, I thought he was flying to South America. Now, how come they didn't go and massage him? He's sitting next to who? I wonder if he's at V-Day parade today. He swore his allegiance to Putin. You can look it up. He swore his allegiance, and then having my baby, Lindsay Mills, who reminds me of Elizabeth Holmes. Oh my God. She's a pole swinger. Remember that? She was a performance artist. And they broke up. They were in Japan right before Fukushima happened. So the greatest event that empowered them, 9/11, greatest event in human history, until the counter opposite happened, 3/11. Ooh. So 9/11, nobody from Iraq did that. Nobody from Afghanistan. I was teaching at Weber State #1 school of business. I taught the derivative arbitrage class. That's what I did. We were the #1 school of business in the United States, bar none. Clyde Coolidge died in 1999 out of nowhere. Except right as the top NBA program. We used to beat Wharton. We used to beat Harvard. We used to beat them all. And we were a public boutique school. Of course, I got to get rid of that. I'm screaming and yelling. I've always thought Dr. Cooley's death was suspicious. And then it's me fighting them. Like, you can't do this. We want supply chain from China. Warren Buffett, of all people, rolls in with Bill Childs when he bought RC Woods. I used to fly in their Learjet. By the way, who owns See's Candies? He never misses an interview to promote See's Candy. And so there used to be a picture on the wall with and Billy Gates. How would Billy Gates come here? And Buffett together to Weber State School of Business? Well, they were hijacking it. I knew it. I played golf with them, and I had to take like 5 showers. There used to be a picture on the wall at Weber State School of Business with me, but I fought him. Look it up. Just Google China, Utah influence. Just Google it. The professor, I know him personally. When he rolled in 98, and we had it out. Had it out the whole time. I got blackballed, and they turned into supply chain from China. Usury. Unbelievable, and we ranked like last. So nice birdie. They ripped its head off. They ripped Kevin Blunt. Well, they did to me just the same thing they did Fawn McKay Brody. Same thing they did to her. Born and raised here. Devoto's born and raised here, but the panty painters are out. We got a fake AstroTurf art scene, and I was gonna make you sick. Name of the monarch. Let's put stenciled butterflies up. Oh, that dude rolled in and that's what they do. The New York City art. Look up Leon Black. He's an Epsteiner. Katie Couric. What? She was hanging around with Epstein? All these people, the CIA, Epstein. You go on Noam Chomsky. What? I sat with Noam Chomsky at the Helen Caldecott Symposium in the New York Medical Academy. I'm like, Noam, why won't you talk about Fukushima anymore? I asked him straight up. He quietly says, it's disgraceful, the cover. I said, well, we're at a symposium. I'm a butcher. What's a cat? I told Helen, I'm a butcher. What's a cow? I'm a baker. What's a cake? This is an anti-nuclear symposium. What's Fukushima? We can't say the F word. She didn't allow me. I can. It's like I can. They're up for a Nobel Prize. I can't. They're anti-nuclear bomb, but they're pro-nuclear energy. I will quote Plowshares. the lead nun, Megan Rice. I was friends with Megan Rice. You know, I did all that work with Megan, at Y12. I was at the trial. I was at all of it. I went to her prison cell in Brooklyn. Obama put her in a holding cell, built the hold for 3 weeks, for 3 years, and turned down the temperature to 50 degrees and tried to kill a 85-year-old nun, disciple of Dorothy Day. Obama did that. Ask Michael Hastings. Ask Aaron Swartz. That was Obama's doing. Get your dog snug in. We love Obama. We love him. So plowshares for years used to say, Kevin, we're against the bomb, but we're okay with the technology. And I'm like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So the night before Megan Rice's sentencing, they had a snow down in Knoxville. And by the way, I almost got killed. I got a gun pulled on me out in near Y12. And it was one of the old plowshares groups who I just met the day before, and he gave me his phone number, and I called him, and he come out and saved my life. Whew, that was scary. A dog and snare freak pulled a gun on me. So that's when I had the field, and people were trying to steal my thunder and wanted me to push whatever freaked out agenda they were. Free radicals versus post ignorance. You know what free radical is. I knew what they were up to. I knew what they were all up to. Free radical. That's a cancer cell. I'm full of cancer. They knew it. They knew exactly what they were doing. That's a nuclear fallout. That's what we call plutonium and these man-made elements. So, plowshares. There she is, Sister Snow herself. And the first ordained woman Roman Catholic priest. I mean, I'm sitting with them, and I'm helping them write the answers to the Kansas City 13 who are in prison for the umpteenth time for breaking in. I says, you probably madder than hell at me, huh? And she says, oh my God, Kevin Blanche. I says, well, you guys and your rhetoric on we're okay with nuclear energy, but we hate the bomb. And by the way, if the big Z hasn't proved you, they're one and the same. I don't know what will. These imperialists. She's like, no, you set us right. You're right. I don't know, you set us right. She says, I says, you're really mad at me? She says, no, I believe you were sent by God. Thank you. What a compliment. Megan Rice inside the trial. I'm in there. They delayed the getting in. Somebody didn't show up for work, so the screening process, they backed us up the line. Same day Pete Seeger died, which is the ironies. Got a snow day in Knoxville. And Megan Rice on the stand. Timothy, she kept calling the prosecutor. She'd go right at him. Megan Rice was a genius. Almost as smart as her mother, Madeline, who that's how I met Annika in the Nevada test site. She was a gem. Madeline Rice was incredible. Dr. Rice. NYU's the chemistry building where the shirtwaist fire was now. What? Yeah. All my work at the shirtwaist fire. God, what a career of activism. I get no credit, no nothing. So, that's when you know you're effective, is when they go after you like they have me. Megan Rice. Timothy, I want to thank you for putting an 85-year-old peace activist in a holding prison cell, built the hold for 3 weeks, for nearly 3 years, and turning down the temperature to 50 degrees and trying to kill me. I want to thank you, Timothy. I want to take the Obama administration. I want to talk, hey man, all these people, I want to thank you. And they're like, you know why? She says to them. So when I get out of prison, I have something else to protest. She would have died in prison. But I'm the guy that started that petition. It had millions of signatures. Millions. 2-1 in the appellate court. And the appellate court has released her today now. Obama held her as long as he possibly could. And of course, then Trump, reality winner on Cat Balco. Trump doubled down on going after any activist and whistleblower. But he's your counterculture. He's your savior. They're twins. They never said the Fukushima word once. Trump met with that beast 17 times. So I take the bus in the middle of the night. I get to right where the Jarvis Center, Hillary's going to break the grass channel. That's where the bus drops off. The sun's just coming up. We went through Philadelphia. There were fires. So the church bells are ringing, the cathedral, and the line is literally blocked in a circle waiting for the homeless to get food. I walk over there to Trump Towers. Holy, I've never seen anything like it. It was a fucking war zone. Giant dump loads of fucking dirt, Fuck, I never seen a war zone like that in my life. It's like, well, how come you didn't protest when Bush stole the election? We did. We did. I was there. You can see when Bush is walking, the eggs that are thrown in there, they sealed off the whole area for blocks. They wouldn't let us near. Just like at King Charles's coronation, they arrested the anti-peaceful protesters before. They did the same thing to us on the Bush freaking election. They did the same thing to us over and over and over. You know, I started the Million Mass March. I gave the inaugural speech. I led all those marches. They didn't open the door and let us in. You know, look up the pictures, play back the video. I mean, proof. So it's unbelievable. So I get there. I mean, it's just, next thing you know, I get word that Abiy's flying here on his Learjet to hurry and meet with Trump because he was sure Hillary had won. They had Hillary, you know, of course they had Hillary. I got to go talk to Henry before I go to Fukushima, you know, who Epstein, I mean, these nuclear gatekeepers. Toro Ranch is at Los Alamos. Jeff Bezos is born at Los Alamos. You guys, the propaganda machine, which is today the DOE and Armed Corps Engineers, was started out as the Department of Nuclearism, and they passed Price Anderson. So I get there. I'm waiting. Say it, Trump. Say it. Say it. Say it. He's going to say Fukushima. He's going to. Did he? Did he? Did he? He met with the B 17 times, including right after his inauguration. There's rumor Putin popped one off on Inauguration Day. You know, the cousins are fighting again. Imperialism. First one he met with was Abiy. They blocked out the windows. Remember at Mar-a-Lago and kicked all media out. What do you think they're talking about? They're a golf game? High five on the golf course. Then they're sliding with senile Biden. He's just an extension of Obama, Gummer, and Trump and Bush. So imperialism really, well, 1980 Reagan. Well, I'll take Reagan and Gorbachev because the astrologer was anti-nuclear. I mean, we've gone from Gorbachev and Reagan back to the USSR, back to the old USA. I'll take the old USA. Back when we had tax rate on these gazillionaires at 99%, we didn't allow it. I mean, the middle class, the working class, of course, the unions got all corrupt. You know, anything. I mean, but the pendulum swung all the way. Imperialism is back. The United States is nothing but the military arm and military branch of the British Empire. We started out as a colony of the British Empire. We're a colony of the British Empire. And you think that the monarchy is just figuratively. You're crazy. You know shit. You know shit. Afghanistan, Iraq, the special relationship. Imperialism, quote, back when we used to fight back against imperialism. Franklin Roosevelt to Churchill. It's in Winston Churchill's, FDR's son's book. Winston in the basement after. You know, Winston, I went to London when I was an 11-year-old boy. I saw Queen Victoria. I hated the old witch. There's nothing more quintessentially American to hate the royal family than why we gained our independence in the spirit of Alexander Hamilton, in the spirit of Samuel Adams, in the spirit of, first they come for the craftsmen. They've got a craftsman in this town so hardcore. I'm one of them. In the spirit of Abraham Lincoln. I'm bloodline related to Abraham Lincoln and Alexander Hamilton. My grandma always told me that. The DNA's proved it now. So, hated the old witch. Well, Winston Churchill, you're flying right in the face of Mother of England. But if I don't play long ball and go along with you, we're going to go down the same way our cousins did in Russia. The Ramona Frall family, look up the DNA swap when they found the football. Look it up, the DNA swap. That woman in Virginia was faking and lying it the whole time. She said she was Anastasia. No, she wasn't. People will lie to their graves. They lie so much, dogma gets so burned into them that they take it to their graves. Who's the DNA closest match? Oh, it's Prince Henry. No wonder he's been 86 out of the royal family. He's going to make a power play for the Russian. Why do you think he moved to California, which used to be part of the Russian Empire, the Russian River? He dropped a baby there. Born on American soil. Maybe he can be your next king here. Because it's imperialism and these puppets. Imperialism is all the way back. You know, colonialism, American colonialism, the old USA, American colonialism is nothing more than the old British Empire oligarchs, who those people are. We're nothing more than their military arm, masquerading as the USA. Imperialism, Kevin Watch, the pure anti-imperialist. And their greatest tool, oh, it's nuclear. The cover up of Fukushima doesn't prove it. They don't illuminate. They radiate. Stand